time for another video. So, today we're just going to be talking about basically my best and my worst experiences at a convention. Now, the best one I would say would be MegaCon, and the worst would also be MegaCon. Well, we're separating these things into a 2-video part. So this video will just talk about more on the MegaCon perspective. In the second video, we'll talk about the Megaplex perspective. So let's give a little brief back on what MegaCon is. MegaCon is an all-purpose media, anime, DC, Marvel convention that is held here in Orlando, Florida, normally within the summer/fall time. Megaplex is a furry themed convention that is normally held during the fall time, around August I would definitely say. And that one is more so themed in the furry fandom. So that's the reason why I'm kind of splitting those 2 videos up. So just be on the lookout for those, okay? So this video is really unscripted. I really didn't make a script on the best time that I had or the worst time I had at MegaCon. So just bear with me for fun. So MegaCon was probably the very first, I wouldn't say probably, but it was the first convention I ever went to in my life, and it is obviously the best one. That's the first time I actually started working on cosplays and doing cosplaying in public, as well as meeting other cosplayers and getting both experiences of what it's like to be a cosplayer, what it's like to just be an attendee at the convention, and just being able to do whatever you want to do and be silly and goofy in public and not get arrested for it. So, yeah. So I want to say the best time I ever had at MegaCon was when my high school best friend, we'll just call her Kay, just for privacy reasons. So my best friend Kay, her and her family came to visit Orlando for the first time, and as well as coming to a convention for her first time. Now, a little backstory: my friend Kay, she's very introverted. So her being introverted and me being an extrovert, we were kind of like yin and yang. And she really wanted to experience what it was like to go to a convention, as well as cosplay and do all this other stuff. And why not, hang out with a friend from high school that, I was her only friend, so, Let's see how this goes, right? I need to fix this mouth. So, we get the hotel, we get the money, we get the parking spot. Mind you, we got the best hotel. The hotel was literally connected to the convention center. So it was literally just a walk away. And I was able to pay for snacks and food for the room, as well as give them a little tour of Orlando, since, they've come from a very small town, and they really don't get that much entertainment there. So it was me, my friend Kay, her brother, cousin, and her mom was going to come with us, but I guess, with all the festivities, it just got retired. So it was just the 4 of us. And her brother really wanted to cosplay, but he didn't really have a cosplay to be in. So I gave him one of the cosplays that was actually meant for another friend. I let him wear it around. So it was me cosplaying as Legend of Korra and him cosplaying as Mako, which was really, really cute. I'm not gonna lie, it was a really adorable moment. But we hung around, had a blast. Like, there are so many memories of just utter stupidity that I look back on and I laugh at. So to start off, we had the amazing time of just dressing up my friend's brother into the cosplay, which I'm not gonna lie, he actually looked pretty good in. And then we had the nice trek of going from the hotel room to the convention center. And of course we had this dumb issue of, my friends, they didn't really get their tickets as early as I did. I got my ticket, but with MegaCon, there's a ticket and then your wristband. So the ticket just lets them know that, hey, you have a ticket to get in. But in order for you to go in and out of the convention, you have to have a wristband. So I had to stay in line for about, I want to say a good 30 minutes. I had to stay in line and wait to get my wristband on. And of course, in the line, I had to get pictures taken because this was during the time that Legend of Korra was becoming very, very popular. And this funny, amazing memory, first, is as I was taking pictures, there was a little girl who absolutely loved the show, and she thought I was actually Korra, which was so cute and so scary, because she wouldn't stop following me. I had this little girl follow me everywhere around the convention, so convinced that I was the Legend of Korra, that this is her, like, she can bend water and she can do this, that, and the third. Now, I didn't want to break her heart because there were other girls that were dressed up like Legend of Korra, and you would think, like, okay, maybe she's just one of the cosplayers that are just dressing up because there's more. No, this little girl was convinced. She was straight up convinced that I was the Legend of Korra. I was the Avatar, master of all four elements, and the savior of the world. This little girl thought I was the Avatar, and I felt so bad explaining to this little girl that I can be, but I do not bend the elements. I'm still working on it, and I felt so sad. I felt very, very sad because she was about to cry and tear up. And I said, okay, what I have to do, I have to save myself from this. So I said, you know what? I got an idea. And I told her, I was like, okay, right now it's just kind of hard because some of the elements I haven't been able to unlock, but I will unlock them one day. And I just made that little girl's day. So moving on from the beginning, entering into MegaCon, the second thing that ever happened during the convention was just the food. Oh, that day was the best day. During this year, I think it was 2016. I think it was 2016 or 2015. One of the 2 years. But during this year, they had Japanese stands all around the convention. And normally at a convention, you get the regular pizza, you get your tacos, you get kind of like your everyday food truck stands. But no, there was an actual stand, and there were a row of booths with nothing but Asian food. I pigged out on every single one of them. So most of my money, besides for, food for gas, went straight into Asian food. I was trying ramen, I was trying sushi, which I ended up throwing up and laughed at it later. I ended up trying all these different types of Asian foods and fell so madly in love with these foods. And it was actually very funny because at this particular booth, this booth was advertising a Japanese noodle bar that was going to be coming up called the Super Saiyan Noodle Bar. And they were, telling us about the bar, and as well as showing us different flavors and styles of soup and noodles. And I wasn't paying attention because my brain was, I see Asian food, me going to eat Asian food, and me going to be happy. So that's what I did. And after that first day of the convention, we went out and we went to the famous Super Saiyan Noodle Bar, which is a noodle bar based on the Dragon Ball Z theme. Now later on they did make another bar. I don't remember what the bar's name is, but it's another noodle bar and it's based on the Naruto theme. And we have both of those here in Orlando, which I am stoked about. But I'm super mad because they're both 30 minutes away from my house. But I'm willing to drive 30 minutes away for some stinking noodles. And I mean, there were so much more things that happened. I realized that my best friend Kay, she was growing up and being this amazing person. Her brother, he was about to graduate college. He was going to graduate high school, and all these wonderful things were happening while we were enjoying ourselves here at the convention. So that was my best experience at Megaplex. Here comes the worst experience. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this. But here's the worst experience from MegaCon. So, to start off with the worst experience from MegaCon, I want to say this was actually last year, like 2019. This would be my worst experience at MegaCon, let alone the worst experience I ever had at a convention. So to start off, first things first, I was with a completely different group of friends, associates, just a group of guys. I was with a group of guys. Let's just keep it realistic as possible. I was with a group of guys who I did meet previously, previous years at MegaCon, and decided that, okay, since my friend Kay wasn't going to be coming this year, I was going to hang out with these dudes and room with them. But a lot of things kind of happened left and right. So let's just start off with the first one. First one, number one, was during the time previously before getting to the MegaCon weekend. I was saving up so much money because I thought 2019 was my year that I was going to be graduating in college and things were going to roll downhill. Well, unfortunately, things didn't work out the way that they need to at college, but I still had to save up money for MegaCon. And so I had my money ready. I was getting my stuff packed. Everything was going smoothly like it was that morning. That Thursday morning, I would get up. I would get my stuff already packed. I would make sure I have all my money and everything in line and order. And I would just go to the hotel, check myself in, get myself nice and relaxed, and kind of walk around and just get the feel of how that Thursday was going to be before the convention really start up. Well, there was a problem with the money. See, I thought I was going to have X amount of money, but because of Y situation, and I'm literally asking myself, why this situation? This situation gave me Z amount of money, a lot less than what I had of X amount of money in the previous. So I was a very mad girl that morning. So great, I have less amount of money than I had, which means I have less amount of money of spending, less amount of money to, do a lot of things that I really wanted to do. I was already mad, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. I was going to keep going. Hey, it's the weekend. I have my ticket at least. This time I actually went through their wristband thing and thought, okay, I was going to get the wristband in the mail. Well, it turns out they changed it into a badge. Well, why didn't anybody tell me that it was going to change from a wristband to a badge? Now, instead of just automatically walking through the door, and going right into the convention, I have to go right back through the registration line, wait a whole hour to get a badge. This is what's going to be one of those rough days. So I get to the convention center with my friends. We get our bags. We got the gas just in case if we have to drive out a little bit. And I'm about to call them to let them know that, hey, I got my badge and we're fixing to head into the convention center. Well, my phone shuts off. For some odd reason, it doesn't work anymore. It just blacks out. And I don't mean like black out. I mean my phone just died. It literally died in my hands. And I had to sit there in the parking lot with a dead phone that wouldn't hold a charge, wouldn't even charge, and it wouldn't turn on for the life of me. So my phone was dead. Which you would think, oh my goodness, that's so bad. Now you can't really, text. That's exactly right. That means I couldn't text or call the group of guys that I was letting them know, saying, hey, I got my badge. We can go into the convention center. So now I had to play hide and seek around the convention city area to look for this group of dudes that could be anywhere in the city of Orlando. That took a lot longer than expected. And even more mistakenly, I get the message that my friend Kay actually did show up to the convention. And she was getting her hotel and getting everything ready. And she was wondering where I was. Well, I couldn't contact her because my phone was dead. I had no way of contacting her, and I had no way of fixing the phone because I only had the money to spend on the convention instead of, hey, let's not be stubborn. Let's take the money that I have and use it to fix my phone. Nope, my brain was too stubborn to do that. So I went throughout that weekend with a dead silent phone, and that led to just more problems. So I'm short on money. I don't have a phone. This can't get worse, right? This can't get worse. Well, it does. It does get worse. So now that I don't have a phone and I barely have any money, I now turned into that friend in the group that asks everybody else to help with finances, food, as well as asking them for their phones. And it got so complicated to the point that I even had to be babysitted by one of the guys, so that way we can all still stay communicated and stay together. This was also a problem because when I really wanted to hang out with my friend Kay, she wouldn't answer her phone. And it was like her phone was dead too. So I was kind of stuck with this acquaintance of a friend around the whole convention. And I really couldn't go and do the things that I wanted to do by myself because I didn't have no way of communicating with people. So yeah, I was just stuck with somebody. And it just sucked. It sucked a lot. But I still kept a positive face. I figured, hey, it's not the end of the world. You can still go out and you can buy yourself some souvenirs. You can still check and see if they had that awesome line of Asian food. Well, no, they stopped doing a line of Asian food, so it was just back to expensive pizzas and really cheap Mexican food that you may or may not like later on when you get back to your hotel room. And the news just keeps getting better. It was like the bad luck Santa was coming in early. So now I'm just stuck here. Can't do anything. We head back to the hotel and everything's great, right? Now it's Saturday. And Saturday was the day that I was first debuting Saborina in her fursuit for the first time. Now, I've already explained to the group that, hey, I'm going to actually need one of you guys to stay with me because I'm going to be in a fursuit. This fursuit is limit on sight, sound, and obstacles. I am very disabled on all three of those. Now, like, somehow, some way, I couldn't see. Like, my bangs now, the hair was actually covering my face like this. So I had absolutely no way of what anything looked like. My eyes were a lot tinier than what these eyes are now. Like, this whole body was very different, very craply crafted. But it was my first fursuit that I ever made, and I was really proud of myself, and I wanted to show it off. So I figured, why not? I'll show it at MegaCon. And plus, that was the convention that I also met other furries. So I figured there were going to be more furries there, which turned out it was a lot more than I expected. So it was my first time fursuiting, and I'm thinking, okay, this group of people should understand about my situation. We sat down and we talked about it, and everybody was in agreement. I even had someone volunteer to be my first time handler. Well, they were definitely a first time handler. You know, it started off great at the beginning, but after a while, when I was giving them the signal of, hey, I'm hot, give me some water, take me somewhere where I can get cooled off, that's when that fireball was rolling downhill, and I was rolling downhill with that fireball. I was basically overheating and panicking because I was overheating. And my handler was too busy getting snapshots of other cosplayers that he didn't notice that I actually walked off to find some type of water fountain to cool my head off. Luckily, I was able to run into another fursuiter, and I kind of hung around them, even though I was still under the situation of, I don't have a phone, so I have no way of communication or no way of figuring out where and who is where. So you're going to kind of have to babysit me, which was fine, but I still felt bad. I mean, you don't want to babysit someone while you're trying to enjoy your convention. That just seemed pretty messed up, but what was I supposed to do? So they were able to take me to the big group of furries, and I was able to have so much fun, and I was so excited to meet everybody in their fursuit, get to see what to do in fursuit, that I once again forgot that, oh yeah, Saber, you need to drink something, because if you don't, you're gonna pass out. Well, during one of the lovely group pictures, after the group picture that is, when we were actually cooling off, I blacked out. I blacked myself out. I was so hot. I had heat exhaustion and went unconscious, went to sleep. And when I woke up, everybody was wondering if I was okay, if I was breathing. And I really didn't know what was going on. I was actually blacked out. And there's some pictures of me, like, literally laying on the ground face first, just not responsive to anybody. So that was also a scary experience of, wow, I actually gave myself heat exhaustion. You would think I would do that in the military, but man, doing that in cosplay, that's hardcore. So then it became Sunday. Sunday, I was just ready for it to all be done and over with. I couldn't get all the souvenirs I could have wanted. I couldn't contact my friend Kay to just hang out with her and just de-stress from the group that I was stuck with. I couldn't go to the after party. So I was just ready to go home. But I still made that day a pretty decent day. I was able to get some cosplay materials and some new props that I was going to make for another character that you guys are going to be getting to see a little bit on my channel. I mean, you probably already seen her already, but still, it was fun being able to get the props needed for her. And before I left, I needed to go back to the room and get my stuff packed up and ready to go because I was leaving a lot earlier than the group of guys I was with. Now, things really boiled up a bit because one of the guys had a little bit of an attraction to me. And, you know, that's fine. I'm okay with guys being attracted to me. Just don't, like, how do I put this? Like, don't be so upfront. And don't get mad when you get denied. 'Cause that's just annoying. That's really annoying. So, while I was packing and getting my stuff ready to go home, one of the guys, you know, they wanted to come talk to me and just pretty much say how much they enjoyed hanging out with me and all that. But they enjoyed it so much that they wanted to go out with me. And that was really sweet and thoughtful of them. But during that time, I wasn't ready to be in a relationship because I'm still in college. I was still working in the military and whatnot. And I just really wasn't settled. So it didn't seem realistically sound to be in a relationship that I myself didn't know if it was going to be available. So I nicely declined, but thanked him for the offer. And well, they tried plan B. So plan B was previously at the hotel. I joked about how I was willing to be with somebody if they could buy me food. And that was a joke. It was literally a joke. I was just saying it because I was hungry. I really wanted some food back then. But they actually took it a step higher and bought me a big bag of chips and a half-gallon of chocolate milk just to impress me. And that right there, I got mad. I got very furiously mad because I'm sitting there going, wow, you really thought that buying me food or buying me snacks would ever give you a chance of dating me. You got me royally. But it's okay. It's okay. It's not a big deal. I'm completely fine with it. By all means, I would love to take the snacks. So I did. I took that snack. I took that half-gallon of chocolate milk. I grabbed my luggage and I booked it. I left the place. It was done and over with. I was ready to go home. And after that, I became so disconnected. I made sure that if they had my number, I just switched my number. I got rid of their friend requests on social media. I was done. I was not going nowhere near this group. Not to say that they were bad people, but I just had a bad experience with them, and I'd rather not be contacted to receive said bad experience again. So, yeah, that was my worst and probably the most excruciatingly difficult time that I ever had at the convention. Mind you, the same convention that I always go to every year. That was a long day for me. That was a long day. That was a long night. That was a long day and that was a long night. Like, So that's it, folks. That's my video on the best and the worst experience I had at a convention. please tune in next time when I upload a video on my first experience at a furry convention. If you really do like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more of my content, you can click down below on the subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.